Hello, today I would like to show you process of creating a rack mount directly attached storage for my Mac. The idea is that I would like to use a SAS interface because I already use it for my LTO5 drive that we were building some time ago. Since the SAS cable is carrying 4 independent channels, I will be able to use my LTO SAS drive here and 3 additional hard disk drive in a base that we are going to mount here. The main problem why I didn't purchase like a server grade external drive array is they are absolutely terrible in noise, and if I would like to replace like a 10 fans to get a Noctua to make it quieter, then I would spend couple times more on just fans than on the external array itself. If we go away from a server grade equipment, we can go like a small office, which is that QNAP 1U external SATA enclosure. This is SATA, even that is using same cabling as on the SAS drive, but you can put a 4 hard disk drive. The QNAP and Synology solution does not fit my need because I will not be able to plug my LTO at the same time. So that's make absolutely no sense for me, because I would have to swap the plug and connect to the LTO, and I would like to have everything. So I will be happy to trade one bay for my LTO. Did I mention that this is a very expensive solution? Because I can have this unit fully populated with a hard disk drive for the same price I would pay for just that enclosure. And the other thing is that I've got much more flexibility. So this is a 2U unit, which is quite tall, and it was dedicated for a 4 LTO drive. The name is Dell powervault 114X. I purchased it extremely cheap because it got a broken LTO4 that was sold to me as a broken external LTO4, which makes a perfect use for my application because I'm going to swap it. Let's open this unit and take a look what we've got inside. As you can see, inside it looks absolutely beautiful. We've got a lot of room for doing different projects. The power supply is very quiet, and for a server grade equipment it is quiet. It's being driven by those 2 fans, and I can swap them for a more quiet one, and I will not break the bank. The power supply is designed to powering those 4 LTO drives, so it will have absolutely no problem in powering 4 hard disk drive. There is enough room that if by any means I decided I need more storage, I can put here a SATA or SAS expander board. I can tap the power from one of those molecs, and I can add more disk. And to add more disk, you can buy a tray like that, where you've got a 4 2.5 inch. So with those 4 bays, I will be able to put like a 12 2.5 inch drive. So I've got ability to customize this as I want. I can start putting SSD, I can start from a 1 tray only. Everything I can tail to myself. If I would like to add another LTO, no problem, I can put LTO. I can make it more flexible. Here is the SAS cable that is interconnecting the LTO drive that is broken, and as you can see, we've got a problem, and that's because that miniSAS to SAS internal SAS is using only one lane, and that's mean I cannot use it for my project because I would like to have 4 devices directly connected to my HBA. But I purchased this very special cable. Here is the model number, and if you take a look, we've got a single miniSAS cable. This is a regular miniSAS cable, exactly the same one that is used over here. Here you are plugging it into that port. In normal case, you are plugging it here, and it's stealing one lane from that cable. The other 3 lanes that are inside are not being used at all. But this is kind of reversing. We've got that one cable that is go into your HBA, and here is being split into 4 channels. And of course the SAS connector is accepting regular SATA hard disk drive. This is SATA with a space. You've got no problem in hooking this up into the back plane, just like that. But it will also work with a server grade SAS drive. Here is a SAS drive with additional pins, and you've got absolutely no problem. Since those are separated channels, there is absolutely no problem in mixing LTO with a SAS and regular SATA. Each channel is independent. I would like to have ability of nicely swapping hard disk drive, and that's why I order those trays. Let's take a look how they present themselves. And I've got 4 of them, and I will tell you why I purchased 4. Those bays are trayless, and that's mean you grab your hard disk drive, you slide it in, and it's nicely made with the SATA connector. To remove it, you just go like that, and the drive nicely pull out. We are going to start our project from removing those 3 masking elements, and we are going to populate them with our drive trays. To remove the tray, there is a pull tab. You go like this, and you nicely slide it out without any tools. It is very important to not lose that part. To mount it, you've got 4 places for screw, and that pull tab go into those screw slots, and now you nicely slide it in, and you make sure that it's catch on that element. Nicely catch, and it's mounted. Just tell me, how does it present? We've got a power switch, we've got an indicator. If we would like to put a drive, we go like this, we put our drive, we lock it, and we are done. I can hot swap, and it looks absolutely beautiful. This is what I wanted. We've got a 3 base populated, looks absolutely amazing. Now I'm going to plug them in. Let me unwrap my cable. There are labeled P1, P2, P3, P4, but we do not need to be caring too much about that. I will put a P1 to my LTO, The rest have absolutely no matter, so nicely plug it in, just like that. It looks great. 3 SAS cables are nicely connected to our backplane on those enclosures. And now time for the LTO. Let me remove it. This is our broken LTO4, and I'm going to replace it with my working LTO5 with the SAS connector. So let me nicely remove it. Very nicely for screw. We can slide the enclosure. We nicely pull out our LTO. Instead of putting the broken one, I will add a hard disk drive into that setup. Let's see, does it going to fit? And for me that looks nice. And I'm going to plug the SAS cable just like that. And as you can see, it looks absolutely beautiful. So this is the enclosure. As you can see, we saved that and it looks very nice. We go back to my working LTO5 drive. I'm going to add our pull tab, just like that. And we are going to nicely slide my LTO. We go like this. And we make sure that it's nicely clicked in place. Yes, it is. And I'm going to connect our SAS cable, but not that one, because we are not going to be using it. We are going to be use our new one with 4 channels. So let me connect it, just like that. Now we have to supply them with power, and for that I'm going to be using those 4 Molex cables, and the last one goes here. So as you can see, we should do a small cable management and everything should be beautiful. The last thing that I have to do is route that cable out with those slots. So I'm going nicely remove one of them. I'm not going to throw that away. And I'm going to nicely pull that out. So this is how it looks like. Now we can put our top plate. And as you can see, the job is done. I've got my LTO5 and 3 hard disk slots. Each of those have a power switch, which is absolutely great because I don't want to have my backup drive being constantly on. Just in case I've got any malware, then it's not going to encrypt or delete those drives because they will be power off. We are sitting next to my MacBook. This is the device that we just built. I interconnected it with the HBA, SAS HBA that is sitting inside that eGPU enclosure. It's connected via Thunderbolt to my MacBook. And we are ready to try everything. So as you can see, the power is off. All the trays are empty. So we are going to feed it with a hard disk drive. Those drives I've got in a different application. So you can fully expect that some of them are going to contain a data and they will show up, but other might be unformatted. So as you can see, we very nicely slide it in. Those bays are extremely nice because we've got a power switch. So if we've got a hard disk drive that is going to be used as an archive, we can just turn it off. And because of that, the OS will not be able to write and edit the disk. So if anything happen like a malware, your drive is going to be safe, but just with a one click, you can make it accessible from your system. We've got a power indicator and the LED for a hard disk drive activity. I'm going to try to feel which one is power on and which is off. We are ready for a power on. So as you can see, the sound level is not bad as a server equipment. I'm pretty sure those two fans can be switched into some Noctua to get a better performance. The LTO is in a self-test mode. It should nicely connect and go into green ready to operate state. So give it just a second, so we are going to get a nice picture. And we've got a green to go mark. Let's take a look at the computer. I'm going to start with a command for checking out the LTFS drive. Let's do that command and we are going to see, are we detected properly? The actual video about working with a LTFS tape on the Mac is going to be a separate video. And let's see, because I can clearly see that my drive LTO5 is being detected. That HA is a half height. So this is a half height that is going to be a full size. So looks like everything is working nice. Let's take a look at the disk utility. And as you can see, we've got no drive detected except of the internal one. And let's try to power on our first enclosure, our first drive bay. We've got a nice power indicator and there should be also a activity lamp. I do not see any activity. Now it is. We've got a very nice red or pink LED. And if we take a look at the computer, we've got our first drive being detected. So this is my first drive. As you can see, 3 terabytes. This is that drive. Let's power the another one and the another one. So those two drives should appear very soon in the disk utility. And I'm pretty sure that we are going to have a great success. So those are SATA drives. This is the SAS and they are all connecting together. Exactly like you would expect, I've got my drive being enabled. I've got my data there. So let's take a look. I've got my time machine backup. I've got my storage. And I've got my drive that came from the Terra Master NAS. And that's why it does not contain a valid partition. But as you can see, everything is working fine. We can grab our drive without partition. That one was used on the Terra Master NAS. We can put a test partition. Let's take a look. And it should be nicely mounted on the desktop in seconds. We can see the traffic going on, so I know exactly which drive is working. Drive stopped working. We've got our partition. Let's show it. And this is our drive. We can copy some files. So looks like we've got a great success. Let me unmount those drive. Let me unmount them. That one is that also need unmounting. It's unmounting. And if I would like to get rid of that drive to make sure that it's not going to be visible from the OS, I just remove the power and it should nicely disappear from that list. And we've got only 2 drives. I can remove the another one and the last one, and now I've got only my LTO. So this is what I wanted. I've got a full flexibility. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you find it interesting. See you next time, and bye bye.